And really, when you're working with a bunch of junk, you can make some pretty cool stuff. So the scrapper is actually a master of improvisation, and this is not just mechanical, but also on the battlefield.
Nice. I love it. All right, so on the battlefield, can we get a quick overview before we jump in of what the scrapper's role is?
So the scrapper is going to be kind of a melee bruiser. He's also got a lot of good lockdown ability, and in doing so, in preparations for raids, he's also pretty capable of breaking break bars with, maybe a little bit of assistance from others, but he does a lot of taking it to them.
Hey everyone, this is Jebro, and today we are going to be talking about the Scrapper, the Engineer Elite Specialization. We get the hammer. If you don't know, I made a video recently as well about the just the prelude to what exactly was going to be talked about on points of interest, and now we've got all the utilities, the weapon skills, the traits and whatnot that we're going to go through now. And you can see this is the first chain of abilities coming out from the hammer, and you can see we have 3 chain abilities. The first one gives you might, the second one gives you vulnerability on your target, and the third skill combines both of those and puts them into one big hit. Range is standard of 130, being a melee ability, and then kind of a nice combination of just having one separate ability and then having it on the all combined on the third. Good thing is that of course it cleaves like most weapons are trying to do, which is also very nice for 3 targets. Electro whirl, is going to be the second ability. So you spin around reflecting missiles and hitting enemies, which is pretty good. It's a combo finisher whirl, of course, so useful with combo fields. You reflect projectiles. It's a good defensive move here, as well as you can see the damage is 1.2k there, which is actually pretty nice as well. But yeah, kind of defensive as well as able to, put damage back onto your target, especially with that reflection of the missiles as well. So kind of defensive but offensive skill. You can see how well he's showing that off as well as he puts projectiles into himself there, actually, from the golems. Of course, that's a dev command. That's not something you can do like from the golems, to be honest, as well, as the moose is currently shooting him. But you can see, wow, that's some nice damage, actually. Jesus, okay. A total of 5, just under 5k there. Pretty heavy. But this is going to be the hammer is going to be a nice weapon in PvP. I'm pretty convinced of this. It's going to be, like he said at the start, it's going to be more of like a melee bruiser kind of weapon as well. Rocket charge is very, very, very useful. You can see the damage is 3 times 1.5k there as the base on Marauder amulets. The dash forward with a rocket charged hammer to damage enemies. So number of impacts is 3, number of targets is 5, and also there you see the combo finisher leap is very useful, and you get a nice 1 second evade as well, and the range is 1000. That's a good gap closer, and I'm pretty sure as well when you use this ability, I can't remember when I was on point of interest for some reason, but you can use it to be mobile around the map, or whatever you're doing in PvE, PvP, or World v World. I really like this ability. I like the animation. I think this is going to be great for PvP. It's going to be good for combination fields as well, as you can see, like leap finishers trying to grab like fire aura or whatever else you want to grab as well. And in combination with some fields, you will see how effective that is later in the video as well, hopefully, or I can explain it to you. Fourth ability is going to be Shock Shield. So magnetize your hammer, blocking attacks while striking foes in front of you. So you can see the damage there is quite high. As well as the, what is that vulnerability stacking of 8 stacks. Whew. So you get a nice block, and you actually get those the 8 stacks of vulnerability. This is really a lot of vuln, You can really, this is like your setup to actually do a lot of damage in the future. As you can tell, my phone is currently going off. Whoops. So magnetize your hammer, blocking attacks while striking foes in front of you. Really, really nice effect. It's like you block these attacks, and then it's almost like you're not putting the damage back onto them, but you're putting the fact that they've tried to attack you into your favour and just smashing it like vulnerability back in their face, which I love. Great ability for PvP. Thunderclap is really, really awesome. It's a lightning combo field. As we know, if you blast that, you can get swiftness. So if you use a combo for a blast finisher in that, it's really, really effective. If you combine it, as you can see, with the third skill there as well, you can get some nice combos off, including super speed and whatnot, especially if you traded it. If you've traded it, sorry. And you can see the stun is a nice 1.25 seconds. So very effective CC control for PvP, especially if you put it on yourself. You can put a lot of damage out after that. So, you know, you can put your stun down. They can't do much about the fact that maybe you could, you know, combo that up with the fourth ability and put vulnerability on them. But it's very nice. You're forcing them into some kind of stun break situation. You can see the different combos is using the brutal bolts there popping out from that gyro as well, which we'll talk about in a moment. Loving the combo potential with this ability. I can't wait to actually find out. I just want to get in PvP. The thing I want to do the most is get into PvP with Scrapper, see how useful the actual gyros are going to be and those abilities just in combat. Because, like, I just want to have a beta weekend, guys. It's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited to see, maybe like, people are talking as well about Celestial Amulet coming back for the Engineer very, very well as well. Now, the gyros, as an Engineer, like we've all been kind of speculating about how useful they're going to be. The heal you can see currently is 14-second duration, and that's the amount of fuel that that thing has in the first place. So just deploy a medic gyro to heal nearby allies. Personal heal of just under 2.6k. Obviously, it's going to be 5 targets, but I don't know. I'm not too enthralled about this one, if I'm honest. I mean, you can't really see much of the ticking of the heal there in the first place anyway, and it's only I mean, you can see 820, it's like a constant heal. It does a couple of pulses and it seems to stop. It doesn't feel like it's working too well here as well, to be honest, but I mean, I cannot see the healing turret being replaced. I just cannot see that happening, but hey ho, we'll have to see another time. So now you can see the bulwark gyro now as well. So you deploy a bulwark gyro to apply watchful eye to nearby allies. So they half of incoming damage is taken by your bulwark gyro. So that's good. It's quite like a tanky pet for you. And also you can then order your bulwark gyro to self-destruct. Which then causes that daze as well, of course. And if you trait it through the traits which you see later, you can actually get your lightning field as well, which you get on the 5th skill from the hammer, and you can use some combos which we can talk about in a bit. So that self-destruct is actually pretty nice. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well maybe you can bring in some gyros and whether or not they can be useful in that. Whether or not you use the healing gyro again is a bit of a, you know, mystery. Not too sure if that's going to get used, to be honest. I don't think it will be. But yeah, you can see there the different abilities that are available to that one. So Blast Gyro Tag. This is pretty cool, actually. So you hurl a tracking dart to your blast blast gyro to seek out and detonate it. So it's just basically a target. If you have a look there, you can see it does a knockback as well, which is actually pretty good. Again, you can self-destruct it, which means that it does produce that daze, of course. But again, I mean, you know, it can't be that difficult to dodge. I mean, you can put super speed on it, of course, which you can see through the traits in a bit. And you can actually, you know, stun your opponents using maybe your lightning field as well, because, you know, that might be fairly useful. If you can, as long as you can lock down your opponent and stun them and get into close quarters, you can really use that ability up close. I'd just use it up close and pop it straight away, literally. I mean, I would probably not keep it out for an amount of time and then use it because it might be able to get destroyed. Not sure about the HP on these things, which again, something you need to test out. But hey ho. Then we've got the Shredder Gyro. So the Shredder Gyro is really good at those whirling attacks inside those combo fields. You can see that it's put the poison field down there as well, and he's going to be able to get a lot of poison bolts pointing out of that field. So there could be some nice Condi application here. I mean, if you go, again, this is maybe like something for Celestial Amulet where you can utilize the conditions and the power damage, and then use your Holbrook rune as well, back in the day like we had before. Personally, I found Celestial play with builds, and I think this goes to say with most people, very, very... I mean, it's good for yourself because obviously you've got lots of sustain, you've got damage as well, especially if you've got like Holbrook rune or Strength rune or something. You can get a lot of damage in the end, especially with building up might. And it's tanky, you know, and that's what would go with this ability. So it's pretty nice. I'm looking forward to this indeed. So Purge Gyro, you can see here, removes those conditions. 2 conditions removed. Recharge time is 3 seconds. And yeah, you know, going to be up for about 15 seconds as well. That's the amount of time they have fuel for, which is what we're talking about here as well. You can see there, trying to remove those conditions. It does indeed. And it's just, you don't have to use it to do that. It just does it every so often. So that's pretty good. So you don't have to worry about that condition removal. But again, you know, not sure if this is going to be able to survive too well. And it's, yeah, it should be quite interesting. I mean, he was saying, yeah, it's from yourself and nearby allies. But what it does is it actually takes the conditions away from you first and then takes them away from your allies. So you're always the prime target. It kind of looks after you, and that's the way it is. I mean, it's pretty good in that regard. I do like the fact that you are the main target because obviously engineers have a couple of problems with Condi removal, of course. So, going over to the Sneak Gyro, which is more of one which I might actually think about using myself. It's a pretty nice stealth, in all honesty. I mean, you know, it covers a large area as well. You can see there that when he goes out of it, he does get revealed in the end at some point in time, I'm pretty sure. But you can still walk out of it, like, and then come back in to get that stealth reapplied. Obviously, unless you're, you know, in combat or whatever, and you've actually hit someone and you get completely revealed. But it's, I mean, think of it as kind of a moving shadow refuge, I guess, if you wish. It's pretty nice. As you can see on the screen as well, the bot itself, the gyro, is revealed. Like, it is actually there. You can see it. And when you do get hit, of course, when you do hit, you do actually get revealed yourself, and you can destroy the gyro. So you can get like a nice daze off for 1 second and then attack into that position. But they should know where you are, like if that's where the gyro is. Unless you're outrunning it, and you can maybe use it as a bit of a distraction tactic. I really like... I don't really like it. I think it's pretty cool. I actually think it would be a nice thing in World v World, for example. Maybe you won't see the gyro as easily. You could use it as a distraction tactic in PvP, or you could use it as a distraction tactic in World v World and whatnot. I think, you know, the gyro is possible that maybe if people are doing speed runs, it could be something that's used there. Problem is that the gyro is visible, so it might get attacked. But at the very least, at least you won't get... well, maybe you get some AoE cleave on you, but... you know, you can still keep moving and keep that stealth up for a couple of seconds. So it's an additional tool for that PvE movement in dungeons. But yeah, it's not too bad actually. So here we go. We're going through the tool belt skills. So reconstructive field. Establish a defense field granting protection to nearby allies in its area. Pretty nice. Grab protection. You know, we all like that. That's pretty nice ability actually, really. I mean, number of targets obviously 5. We got 5 pulses, okay. That's a lot of protection. See how much that actually comes back. You get the pulses of 3, 4. It keeps going until the field's gone, of course. So that's pretty nice. I mean, extra protection, that comes with that healing gyro as well. So, you know, you get the heals and get the protection. You know, the heal doesn't heal you up a ton. So maybe you could combine the actual heal up with this ability, and you might actually see yourself be sustained to a degree. I'm still not massively convinced about the heal gyro. Still, turret is just too strong. You got the blast on it. You've got the condition removal as well. It's a low cooldown. Yeah, I'm just not sure about the change. Chemical field, you just put down a poison field. It's got 2 stacks. I mean, what else do you want me to say about it? It's a nice combo for the whirling finisher gyro, of course, as well. But other, you know, it's a big, massive poison field. That is ginormous. I think it's pretty good. I mean, the amount of you can see the amount of potential for combo with the scrapper. It is just pretty nice. I mean, I'm really looking forward to grabbing myself the hammer. I'm looking forward to grabbing myself some bombs. Don't give a crap what people think about what build I made on POI PvP 101. I like bombs. I'm going to play bombs. So kiss my butt. But other than that, yeah, play what you enjoy first, and then obviously you want to play the meta builds as well. It's a very, very important thing that you definitely need to be picking up in the future. But yeah, you can see the amount of combo fields that really, really are available to this class, to this specialization, are going to be useful. So here we go. Bypass coating. Splash a hyper coating on nearby allies, granting super speed. That is what that brown stuff is on the floor. So it would be cool. You know, it would have been cool if you'd just like been coated with mud or something, like yourself, and you just got like this stuff all over you, and it's like giving you super speed. But as you can see, not only is it to just your allies there, but it's also to your bots. So if you combine, say, this up with the bot, which applies the dart and just is like a homing gyro, then you know you can use those abilities together, increase the speed of that, so it's less likely that the guy's going to dodge it. You know, there's some combos that you can have with the gyros, but again, like for PvP, for myself, I'm not convinced the gyros are going to be a massive thing. I'm not too sure about that. I'm not even sure that they're going to be a massive thing in PvE. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, you know. Okay, so defensive field you can see here as well. Pretty nice. So projectile reflective dome around you. So that's the same ability, you know, when you can trait it for the engineer, where you get that same dome over your turrets as well through your traits. Very, very nice ability. And it's nice to just have it as a pickup, actually. You can see the amount of reflect there as well when he actually pops that down. And it's moving. It's not just static, because obviously it's, you know, over you, so it's not over your turrets. So if you're moving around, that's going to be really nice reflect. So I guess, yeah, you know, maybe something that I would think about rolling in PvP potentially, at least to try it, at the very least to try it. I mean, it looks pretty nice as well. You can't deny that. That's for sure. I mean, there's still a lot of nice combos you can have. You can protect allies as well. It's a nice example of what he just used just then. So, spare capacitor, the next tool belt skill. So, sit down a lightning capacitor to daze and damage nearby foes near it. Sorry. So, that's pretty nice. I mean, it's a nice daze. It's 2-second daze. I mean, you know, it could be fairly useful. Still, you know, I don't really need to say much more about that. The combinations you could come out with these gyros, and I'm not sure if I said that basically all those, or obviously, if you're new to Guild Wars 2 and you're watching this and you're thinking, what am I talking about? Toolbelt skills. Each utility on your bar transfers means you have a toolbelt skill. So if you've got the heal skill, which is number 6, which is the first utility you can see on the right-hand side next to the HP bar. Then on the EF one is your first tool belt skill. That is the alternative ability for that utility, and so on. So you can see it goes along using the elite as well. So yeah, I mean, a nice, again, you know, first pulse is 2 seconds. They're unable to use skills, of course, and I don't really know what else to say. I mean, it's a combo lightning field. What do you want me to do? It's pretty nice. I'm liking this. Oh wait, don't mind the good old lightning fields. They're pretty sexy. We can remember, you can get some nice stunning off. You can get some speed. You might not have to run things like all, you know, the streamline kits to grab speed, or also the oh god, I've just lost it. Streamline kits, or mecha legs, there you go, to grab for that static 25% run speed. So this is really good. Detection pulse, remove stealth from enemies in a large area. This is really good. And it's probably the reason why I'd actually run the stealth Gyro, to be honest, because, you know, in PvP, if you think about it, like a thief, for example. What thieves do. And if you lose track of him, and the engineer is in the team fight with him, he can use that and reveal the thief. And if he's in range, then he will be revealed on the map, and you'll also be able to do it. It's at big range as well. Radius is 900, so even if you're situated in a forest, in like a map like Forest of Niflhel, for example, and you're standing around the bottom of the keep, you can get quite a big area of reveal onto like stealth targets. So for example, if people trying to engage in stealth which was what we're seeing a lot of at the moment in PvP, actually, you can really negate a lot of that engagement and surprise factor by having something like that on your team. And that's what that ability would be maybe even more useful for than the actual elite itself. So different applications of this. Again, same in World v World, people using Veils and big teams of World v Worlders. Also, GVG, for example, if they do stealth up, you can just get someone to pop their stealth gyro out. And that might be something useful to use. I think. I'm pretty sure. You guys have definitely got to give me some info and some feedback below, of course, as well. So let's go have a look at the traits. You can see his build is explosives, firearms, and scrapper there. But yeah, it's got some nice crit there. So the first one is going to be Function Gyro. So you gain access to Function Gyro, which can finish a foe or revive an ally for you at range. This didn't get shown on the POI as far as I can remember. Sod's Law, it might get shown right now, and I've completely forgotten about it, but I'm pretty sure it didn't. It does what it says on the tin. When you down an opponent and you get that F ability, if you are standing at range, you can press F, and a gyro will appear, and it will come out and down your opponent. If you combine that with some other stuff in this trait line, you can grab stability for it and such as well. And also, you can regenerate your gyros and stuff. But this is really effective. You could really stop someone from trying to go for the res. You can pin them down with, say, the fifth skill on the hammer. You can get some dazes off with your other utilities and tool belt skills. Stop them trying to get the res. Get some stability down on your gyro. Put the guy down, and you could be in the 1v2-ish situation and maybe even win that in the end. Pretty nice. Also, in terms of rallying allies, didn't see it too much. Didn't see it at all, actually. So, sticking your gyro. So from afar, I'm guessing, instead of pressing F to revive, you press F to revive, and it will have like gyro, like it did somewhere. I've seen it somewhere. Might have been that POI I did, not too sure. I don't think so. But if you can do that, like from afar as well, then you can keep people away while you're trying to get the res on him. Whether I'm assuming it's going to be a similar res to what you would do if you were just a player. I can't see it being any more or any less, because otherwise it wouldn't be very powerful. But that being there as a part of the scrapper anyway, Jesus, that's pretty insane. I think before we saw it as that was just going to be there where the hammer was or whatever, but now it's, this is just a useful thing. It's great. Wow. Obviously 15 seconds is the fuel that they have. Activate range is 750, so again, it's pretty good. Shocking speed. So use elite finisher or blast finisher in the lightning field. Apply super speed around you. Super speed for 3 seconds. There's a trait later on in this line, which I really love, this in combination with that actually as well. And it's where you can get healed. And in the video I did from the PvP 101, which was after this, I got, with a Marauder's Amulet, I got base heal of, I think it was 407 with super speed up. We'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, so stabilization core, when a function gyro is activated, you and the function gyro gain stability. And this is what I was talking about with, obviously, downing opponents and whatnot. So using that gyro in that position, pretty sure this is what this is going to be kind of used for in conjunction with, or at least, getting your abilities off. So you've got the kind of homing missile gyro there as well. He can gain stability, so he's definitely going to hit his targets. Gyros stay up. So obviously the scrapper is going to be having some support for his utilities, such as, these gyros. That's it, right? Makes some sense that there's going to be utility for that. I mean, even if you don't pick up some gyros here, you'll still have that gyro that can do the down and that can do the reviving. Grab stability for it. It's going to be able to get that res off. It's going to be able to get that down out. Because look at the stability. It is 8 seconds and it's 2 stacks. It's pretty nice. Pretty happy. Recovery matrix. Using your heal skill temporarily reduces damage you receive. I was watching Tea Time with Mighty Teapot, with Brazil, with Card, Boots, and MMO Inks, talking about the medkit and whether or not this ability will be working with that. If it does, it will be extremely powerful. Thing is medkit powerful? Not really. So really, that's going to depend on what kind of mode you play this in, I guess, to a degree. Would it be more useful in PvE? Maybe. Maybe it would. We'll have to wait and see. So Decisive Renown. So there you see when you successfully revive an ally or finish an enemy, you grant boons to nearby allies. Might stack of 5. And also the super speed. There's so much bloody super speed in this build. In this trait line. It's unbelievable. And then you will see why that's beneficial. So rapid regeneration. One of my favourite traits in this line. You regenerate health while affected by swiftness or super speed. Swiftness, 105 heal. Super speed, 470. When I had Marauders the other week, it was less than that. So I'm thinking maybe we've got something else going on there, but I'm not too sure. But anyway, as a base here, like you're saying, obviously, you know, how much you heal for scales on your healing power stats. So if we go Celestial with this, that's going to be pretty nice. I mean, you're going to get a nice amount of healing from Swiftness and Super Speed. If you're just going to get Swiftness from, say, Streamline kits, then again, you know, you can get some nice healing. There's other traits in the for the Engineer where you can get Swiftness as well. So you're going to be able to get some nice constant healing. And imagine that with Backpack Regenerator. Oh my god, you're just never going to die. Expert Examination. So stunning or dazing a foe applies vulnerability and a weakness to them. You're going to be getting if you pick this, I mean, you can get an extra weakness and vulnerability in addition to what's coming out from your hammer when you put down, say, your lightning field. And when you get lightning fields, if you destroy gyros or use one of your tool belt skills or do any combination of these that can be brought out with getting this lightning field off with that daze, of course. Next one's going to be mass momentum, so gain power based on your toughness. So gain might while you have stability. Obviously that could go with, could work well pretty much with the one of the first traits there as well. We saw the 2 stacks of stability. But I think the synergy of this line is nice. Because there are, for different builds, you can really pick different traits along this line. You don't have to pick the same trait because it's massively OP. It might be that we find that in PvP. You can see that he's gone in combination. He's done it himself there. Stabilization core, you know. It goes well in coordination with that. And that's what I mean, you know. This middle trait and this bottom trait here, mass momentum, they go together. The top traits there, as well in the first and second lines, synergize very well together as well. So there's a lot of synergy in this build between the trait lines, which is what I like. It's not the same with all classes, and it's not the same with all trait lines, because normally you find that one trait is specifically like, I'll just take this because it's the best one, rather than it synergizes well with the first or the second. It's not the same, obviously, with everything, but you know there is the case. That is the case on a lot of occasions. Impact Savant, so the duration of your outgoing stuns is increased, and the duration of stuns applied to you is decreased. Does what it says on the tin. Don't really need to explain that anymore, and that's just comes with the line. You don't have a choice, of course. But yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, negative stun duration on yourself, that's perfect, you know. And do that with, like, Holbrack, and it's going to be a nice combination. Adaptive Armor, so gain stacking toughness when struck. Reduce incoming condition damage. Now that, I think this is awesome. Imagine having this, again, in combination with something like Holbrack and Celestial. You're being more sustained all the time. Look at that cooldown. 1 second? Really? Gain stacking toughness when struck. So what's the massive adapted armor? 10 seconds, 100 toughness. Maximum stack is 5. And condition damage reduces 20%. So condition damage reduced 20%. If you go to Holbrack as well, that's minus duration, and then minus condition damage with this trait as well. Whew. Then we've got the heals that are coming out. I mean, it's really base because they think you're going to be in close quarters, obviously, using this hammer. Hey, that's insane, right? I mean, it wants you to be tanky. It wants you to be tanky. They want you to use the hammer with this build. They want you to be taking a lot of damage, and they want you to be able to sustain. It's going to be massive. Final salvo, sorry. So gyros grant super speed and create a lightning field when destroyed. This is what I was talking about before. So when they are destroyed, you get a nice lightning field. You get the super speed. They grant you super speed while they're with you. Wow, okay, I didn't actually realise that. I didn't read that properly before. So that's, again, more regeneration for you. And also you can give your gyro super speed as well. So you can heal up those guys, keep them sustained, blast the lightning field to gain swiftness for you and your gyros. And, this is a way of your gyros being sustained. So if there's a worry of those being killed too quickly, you can really sustain them by getting that combination of gyro traits as well, where you can get the lightning field when they're destroyed, do a blast finisher inside them to give them super speed, to give them swiftness, which gives them a base heal of about 100, which you saw in the top trait line. And then also you can get the super speed by blasting the fields as well. It's going to be very good. Everything in this build is works quite well together. So hammer skills deal increased damage here. Evading an attack grants stability. Very good. If you get a nice evade from a dodge or just your evade on your hammer free, you're going to be doing a good job because you'll be getting that stability as well. And obviously, this is what this build is about. It's a melee based build. You want to be pulling out those evades. You want to be pulling out those nice dodges. You're going to be face tanking stuff because you've obviously got the hammer, so you're close range. So they've given you a lot of survival potential here. It looks like it's going to be pretty fun. I mean, even if you don't use hammer with those traits, you still use something else. You don't have to use them, but they're very useful in terms of melee range. Here you can see then he's trying to use some of these combos together. Just showing you some of the stuff that you can indeed pull out. So he's going to start using some of these gyros as well. There you go. That was... Jesus, he finished him off with that gyro there pretty well. And that's what I was talking about before, with having it really, really in close range. Here you go. You can see there's the finish them with F, where the gyro we can actually use the gyro to actually down those as well. When he was a little bit further away, you could see that was what the command was going to be. Hopefully you'll be able to see it again in a second as well as he starts to take out this target. He's blocking a lot of that damage. The engineer NPC isn't doing hardly anything to him at all. Got the knockback again with that gyro. He's pulling out some nice little combos with that actually at the moment. Of course, this is an NPC and not a player. Does get the knockback there. Could have pulled out the second ability to actually make sure he didn't get knockbacked at all, but unfortunately doesn't pull that in the end. We see a couple of these gyros coming out. You can see how useful they're going to be in just making sure that he's able to get his opponent down. Still not convinced about the gyro. Almost goes down actually himself. Very, very close. But in the end, able to survive and is pretty happy about that himself on the 580 HP. I think they actually laughed about this in the actual thing, in the actual show as well. But yeah. You can see he does go up against the chieftain as well. Basically just commentated over the whole of POI, which I wasn't going to do. But I haven't really got time to actually cut everything out and just pick bits and pieces up. Because it was enough to explain. I don't need to explain too much. You can read the tooltips yourself. I might have rushed this a slight tiny bit. But just trying to talk about some possible combos and situations which might be brought out. There might be different engineers who watch this video and don't agree with some of the stuff I've said, but some of the stuff I think I'm going to be able to use quite well, just in some fun build creating. I'm not the guy who's going to be making the meta builds at all. I'm a caster. I'm not a player. I'm very mid-range, average. I'm okay. I think I'm a fairly good engineer, but I'm not going to be the guy that pulls out these builds. So you definitely want to be watching the PvP streams and stuff when when the Heart of Thorns comes out and the next weekend, which hopefully this will be available for, because those guys are going to be the ones making the builds. I'll be making loads of random crap up as well, which is just going to be fun as anything. There's a lot of potential. People talking about Celestial coming back because the amount of sustain. If you're going to be face tanking damage, you want a little bit more sustain as well. So you're going to have to go something like Celestial or Soldiers at the very least. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Whether or not I go for Soldiers is another thing. But I've been Jebro. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to Renio as well, and also Ruby for the awesome points of interest and revealing the Scrapper to us. Thanks a lot, everyone. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon.